Oh yeah, I was like, can I talk over it?
It's AC/DC.
I actually always request death metal when people are like, what music do you want to listen to? I'm like, death metal. Just because of that response. Master Chair asked me to do this presentation, and I thought for a long time about what I actually wanted to do. And I move way better than I talk, so we're doing movement-based stuff. In my personal practice, I collect warm-ups, stretches, and conditioning. So that was kind of my reference point of what should I pull from. So today's conditioning, one of my favorite things. Does anybody do ab conditioning weekly? At the end, when we have questions, I would like everybody who has a favorite ab exercise to share, because I seriously am a collector. I think I really enjoy different exercises. I feel like when I was younger, it was sit-ups and only sit-ups, and that's really boring. Not to mention, I don't feel like sit-ups target the right part of your abs. You're using just the top ab to crunch your body. And there's a lot more going on in your body than just your top abs. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is common errors while doing ab exercises. So if you stretch your arm out, you can feel a stretch in your bicep. And if you contract your bicep, you'll also feel triggers in your bicep. So sometimes when working on your abs, you stretch your abs instead of contracting them, and then you're like, yeah, my abs are firing. Well, no, they are, but not in the way you want them to be. So a big cheat is any of the curvatures in your back. So upper back will pull up here, middle back, you stretch through here, and any tipping backwards of your hips will make your low ab feel like it's doing something, and it is, it's stretching, but that's not what we're doing today. So a lot of the cues that I will give you is to press your back into the floor, to flatten your abs away from, compress in this direction, so you flatten your abs towards the floor. Another common thing is people only use this top ab, so you make what is called an ab mountain. If you've ever done an ab exercise where your abs really contract and pop in the center, that is activating a portion of your abs, but it is not using all of your abs. A good chunk of your abdomen is actually on your side, so you want to flatten this and press through here. So I can contract this part, but I want to more press it in towards my back. Another thing you can do is flare your ribs. So if this is my rib cage, and I expand a little, they flared, and I feel tension in my abs. That's not what I want to feel. I want to contract them by using your side abs to pull your ribs down and towards your core. So those are just some common errors. Another one is your neck. Generally speaking, you're going to keep your spine in line for almost everything we're doing today. There's going to be a few exceptions, but for the most part, this should stay aligned. You want to keep your back safe, your neck safe. Any of this movement is going to be really uncomfortable. There's one move where we're going to actually have our arms extended and up near our ears, but for the most part, you want to keep the length in your shoulders. Some people think about pressing your shoulder blades back and down, create space, long necks. I'm going to talk a lot about flattening your abs, and that's a verbal cue that helps me, which means that it stays away from the ab mountain and more flattening and pressing sideways and towards your back. You're going to have to find it in your own body. Unfortunately, I can't make you activate your abs. I can give you some drills that activate your abs, but you can cheat. Everything is cheated. Generally speaking, we don't do anything with momentum. You're trying to drive the motion from your core. You can swing into things, but that's not the same drill. So lots of things have lots of names. I gave them arbitrary names. If you know it by something else, I apologize. So this is seated, knees bent at a nice 90-degree angle, and this is the world's most minimal ab exercise movement base. So you start with your arms extended straight, the heel of your palm will be above your knee, and you just move back to fingertips, and then back up. Barely moving. This is one where you keep your neck long, no crunching. And as you're pushing back, you push your abs forward. This takes a while to feel anything, but it's a nice, good, slow start to the ab exercises. The next one I call mermaids, because you have a beautiful tail. So this is, it's true, you're moving your beautiful tail. So this is on your elbows, and here's your tail. This one is, I use a foot flex and point in the driving of this motion, but you don't have to. So you flex, if you were going to flex, you flex on the top, lower to almost the floor, point, scoop your knees back to your chest. Flex, point, scoop your knees back to your chest. So this is variation 1. Other variation, if you start with your knees close to your chest, toes pointed, push straight, come up, flex. Push straight, see, aren't our tails beautiful? They feeling pretty yet? Okay, so those are basic mermaids. And then mermaid variations, I don't know, I guess you got your legs or something, it's a little mermaid. So we're gonna move our feet independently, moving that up and down motion, but without a knee compression. So if you scissor kick on the way up, till you're about 90, and then scissor kick on the way down, and out.
Should the legs be straight?
Yes, straight legs. Beautiful pointed toes if you want that. The next one is an ankle articulation while you do this. So you keep your legs straight, flex, point, flex, point, flex. And basically you have to use your core to stabilize as you move. So the different movements you can make, the more fun it is. You probably feel it on the top of your legs too, is a toe reach. So this is from an L position on your back. And this is one that's really easy to cheat. I see the little people doing this and they're like, and you get like a huge distance. I promise you the first time you do this exercise, you're gonna barely move. But you'll feel it. The point is to activate and feel it. So from this L position, before you even start, think about pressing your back into the floor, activating your abs, arms straight up, and then reach for your toes. And then down. Control up and down. And you can see how an arm swing would make this easier. That's not the point. So this starts from an extended straddle, legs straight, locked out. You can point your toes or flex your feet. And then it's the same thing. You engage your abs, press down into the ground, and slowly reach through the center. The next one is a cross elbow and knee crunch. So if you start from knees bent, you can do it straight legs, and this will be a little easier. Your arms, your hands will go behind your head, and then you cross your elbow and move. And it's the same thing. Before you even start moving, you should be thinking about pushing your abs into the floor. This involves a twist. You'll probably start to feel it in your obliques at times. If you want to up the game, you can start from laying flat and bring it up. Does everybody feel it in their side? The twisting will start to engage your side. I really think twisting in abs is my favorite thing because it really makes you hold your core tight, and you can't not use your side abs because you create a twist. The next thing is, this is a very minimal motion, and you should feel it in your very lowest section of your abs. So if you start in your straddle, and you really think about tucking your tailbone and pushing your abdomen to the floor, and then you just slowly pulse your legs. Really small motions, and you should be holding your body steady with your abdomen while you move your legs. Just little pulses, no sit-up, no nothing, just lay it on the ground and pulsing. And this one is really easy to cheat, because if you relax your abdomen, you can do all the work with your legs. And if you have really strong legs like some of us, you might cheat this one a lot. Generally speaking, in breath with exercises, I inhale when I'm working with gravity, and I exhale when I'm working against it. So in the mermaid, gravity is helping me here, and I'm working against it. So the inhale would be here, and the exhale would be when I'm working against gravity. So if you're bringing your body up, whenever you're contracting away from gravity, is when I exhale, and then inhale when I'm working with gravity. That doesn't always work. Sometimes the motions are not even, so the breath will feel weird. But as always with everything we do, keep breathing throughout. Holding your breath doesn't do anybody any favors. It's from this position, but our feet are going to be off the ground. So you're holding yourself, and then you touch on each side. Hollow body. Hollow body is a very basic position in gymnastics. It's also a position in other things. This is generally what people consider hollow body. That is a very hard place to start. It's not a beginning abdomen move. People do it wrong. They only use their top abs to hold up their legs. And then it's no good to practice something with that form. That's another thing I say. If you're doing it and you set a goal of 20 of each of these, but you lose form at 15, just stop. There's no point in doing them badly. You'll probably hurt your back or your neck or something. Once you lose form, take a break, start again. You need to keep good form or you're going to probably hurt some part of your body. So to start your hollow body, We're going to work our lower body and our upper body independently. Eventually they will work at the same time. So if you lay flat on your back, you make your knees at a 90 at your hips and a 90 at your knees, and you just engage your core, pressing through the sides of your abs, really pushing it into the ground, and then slowly tap one toe down, and then the other toe down. And while you're doing this, you should be feeling your abs the whole time. Really holding your body to the ground, pressing. And that's how your abdomen will feel when you actually do your hollow body. If you want to go to the next level, you just tap, extend, back up to knees. Tap, extend. And this whole time you're holding your core. You don't let it go. There's no point when you get to release the tension of your core. You're going to want to when your leg extends out. That full hip extension is a good place to try to release, but really fight it. The upper body of a hollow body, if you brace your feet on the ground, and this is the one where you're allowed to put your shoulders under your ears, really extend through the arms, and then just slowly lift up. You're lifting up. I want you to really think about stretching your arms away from your abdomen. So it's not a crunch, it's an elongation as you move up. Really elongate through the body to hold your top half. The second kind of graduated version is tap, extend, knee bend. Tap, extend, knee bend.
So you're never touching the ground, really? It's just
No, you're not. There's no weight.
The extend is really held out.
Held, yes.
And then when you come back up, is it straight?
Yeah, you can come back up however you want. Okay.
Okay, that's what I was trying to figure out.
Basically, all of these where your legs are moving, like when we did the mermaids, all the different ways you can move your legs. If you're holding your core solid, you can do whatever legs you want. The point of the legs is kind of to give some wiggle to your body so your core has to fight. The next thing, this is a dynamic movement, and the more dynamic the movement, the easier it is to cheat, because you can use momentum. Momentum is required in the sense that like movement, but no swinging. So you start from laying flat, and then your first motion is you'll come to a tuck, and then you hold your tuck for as long as you feel like holding a tuck, and then back to straight, and then V, and then back to straight, and then pike. Oh, that's hard. This one involves the pelvis quite a bit, so I call it a hip bridge. This is lying on the floor, stabilizing through your abs, and then you push up through your glutes. So this you should be feeling in your low ab to hold your body steady while you can try to arch, but you should, like the inclination might be to arch to get higher. You should be a straight line between your top of your abs straight to your knees.
How
So
long do you
squeezing your
hold
butt and pushing down what?
How long do you hold this? How long do you hold it up? Is it?
Me, like a minute or 2 minutes.
Okay. It's a long hold.
It's a long hold.
Yeah.
This is one of the holds where I would slow down my breath and hold it till my body doesn't want to do it anymore. So the next thing is a side crunch. I call them jackknives. You can call them whatever you want. So this is, you'll be laying on your side. Your arm that's closest to the floor will be straight 90 degrees off your body. You bring your legs in front of you just a little bit. You're not at a 90 degree, you're not hiking. You're just making it kind of so you can see your toes. Top hand goes behind your head, and then as you stabilize with this hand that's pushing into the ground, you bring your knees to your chest. And back down. Knees to chest. If you want to do the harder version, which is why it's called a jackknife, is the sit-up all the way. And this one is also easy to cheat, but you should really think about using your top abs to squeeze your legs and your torso together. Okay, so this is another internal, like it's just like Tai Chi. You really have to think about where you're contracting because you can use your arms and your legs to drive the motion. And if you're using your arms and your legs, you're working that out. But if you're trying to work out your abs, it's just not where you want the focus to be. So this is a version where you start kneeling, no arch, no rounding, you just want to try to keep flat. So this, you're going to start using your back to hold your abs too. And you can start just here and feel what that feels like and just hold. But if you want to get more challenging, you can lift up an arm, or you can lift up a leg, Or you can do cross, so obviously one arm and one leg. And then the other side. Movements is you do this, and then while your arms are extended, you do a circle with either your arm or your leg or both. I can only circle on my right side unless I look down, so. You can try to circle your legs together in opposition of each other, always switching counterclockwise, whatever, it can get really challenging.
Is this a hold as well, or you just keep moving?
This is just keep moving.
Okay.
You can hold at the top for just a second before you move, and then back, and then hold at the top, and then circle, and then back.
Internal, what's your kind of gauge for how you know you're
So,
out of form?
a lot of the way to see out of form is when people are swinging their arms or using momentum.
Okay.
That's a good one. Another good one is if you can notice that their back is coming off the floor at anything that you're laying on the ground, that means they're arching, and that needs to get fixed. In this position, if anybody's like this, that's really way too much arch. You need to be holding your core steady. So that kind of thing, wobbling. If you fall over, your core is probably not quite where it should be. But that's, you're gonna fall over in some of these. Like some of them, as you get tired too, you're gonna start to wobble. But that's the thing, you're fighting to wobble with your core. This is my, now, I said crunch. Plank is really my least favorite. So plank is push-up position. So arms under shoulders, legs straight behind. And as you hold this, you can put your feet together. You can kind of keep them shoulder width. Shoulder width is a little more stable. And then you hold your core. So try not to let your tummy sag or drop, and try not to put your booty into the air. So it's called a plank because you're supposed to be a straight line from your shoulders down to your ankles. And so the next step, if you really like your plank a lot, you can do the same thing with your arms and your legs. That's it. And if you want to start making them do circles, go ahead and I never make them do that. Right. There is a methodology to the awkward roll. So same thing, laying flat. One arm will be at 90 degrees. The other arm will go behind your head and connect to the opposite knee. So the biggest portion of your awkward roll is not how much you move. It's keeping the connection here and here as you just slowly tip your body to one side. Your flexibility will determine how far you can go in this, and then just roll backwards. You're flat. And then roll. You don't have to bring your knee to the ground. The leg that's extended just stays extended. And just keep tipping. The first 3 of these are easy, usually. 4 through 7 is pretty difficult. Next. You're gonna hold on to my ankles, bring me your feet, tighten in your abdomen, and then I push. You can push in any direction. Be gentle with your friends. Like, this isn't a goal of like, I want to murder my friend. Person on the top, same thing. Close your abs, tighten in, and push, and push. Maybe just push. Whoa.
Oh, sorry, I was with you, sorry.
Push as many times as you want. This person, your job is to keep your legs straight and your abs engaged. The difference is you can take it in any direction and they don't know what to expect, so you really have to stabilize. When you're moving yourself, you know which way you're going. This is a little more of a, if you want to try with each other, be nice. Start slow. So hollow body. And then your banana position is this. So a Superman. What you do is you use your side body to roll between them. So you hold your banana, and then you roll to your, you hold your boat, and then you roll to your banana, and then back to your boat. And I'm not using my arms, I'm using my abs. So my shoulders can be on the ground a little bit here, but I'm not pushing off. And then you have to roll back the other way.
So how are you rolling? I mean, what are you?
You basically use the contraction on one side of your abs to drive the motion through. And then you contract both of them to hold, and then again, drag through here, and then here. It's hard to talk and do these whole things. Drop your feet, and hold. You're not holding.
Hold where? Oh, hold here?
Hold here and then roll.
Oh.
So you're not using momentum, and hold.
There you go.
Because otherwise you can just hold.
Oh, I got you.
Can I call this hot dogs at Quick Shop?
Which one is hot? For the next day when your abs are feeling sore and tired, this is good stretching. So the first one is your cobra position. I think they call it cobra. I'm not a yogi. This is where you're laying flat, hands by your shoulders, and you just push up through here. And that stretches your abs. It made them work a lot. It feels good. Another good one is tap cow. So from your four hands and knees, you arch and look up, and then push through back and forth. And the arching portion really stretches out your abs. So if you use them a lot, usually it's day 2 that I do this section. X taps. So he lays an X, and then right hand and left leg will tap. Tap. Tap.
Come up, and then somebody says,
Go,
touch, go back to rest.
go,
And you don't know when they're gonna say it. So you have to relax.
go. Okay, relax.
I've found that.
I call this version of it dead bug.